Shakti, and welcome to Being Shakti, this program about the development and sustenance of spiritual powers. Today we will look at the power to cooperate. And I think one of the most important things to realize is that what gives meaning and importance to our lives is if we have a focus of accomplishing a higher purpose. A higher purpose, or a purpose which is divine in nature for the betterment of the world, nature, people, civilization. And this is so great that it cannot be accomplished by one person alone. It is important to be able to work together with other people who may be very different from us, but in order to achieve the accomplishment of a higher purpose, many different characteristics and capabilities are required. And the power to cooperate is the power to work together with people in order to accomplish something that is greater than what any individual could do. The power to cooperate is characterized by a mountain which has to be lifted. Obviously, it's not possible to lift a mountain, but the story goes that everyone put their little finger, just the little finger, and everyone together was able to lift that mountain. This is of course symbolic, and there are so many things that are really impossible. What do we ultimately want to achieve? I think the most important is for everyone to be able to live together in harmony and in happiness. And this is very difficult because there are too many people, there's a huge overpopulation issue, there are problems for economic welfare because of so many people wanting their slice of the cake. How can we live together on this world which has limited resources, and all the resources are starting to get depleted, and even the spiritual resources of individuals are also depleting and nearly finished. And this is why it is very difficult for people to live together in harmony. Whether it is the home, the school, the community, wherever it is, but the competitiveness, the negative emotions, the suffering, the sorrow, the injustice, all of the problems that have been accumulating and that are getting worse and worse, how can they be resolved? There isn't any individual or organization, institution, government which can sort it out. This can only be sorted out when individuals acquire this power to cooperate with each other, to give space to each other, to not take from each other where they don't have to. It is all about living and letting live. It is all about understanding the difference between what you need and what you can get away with taking. And if we just take, then somebody's going to lose out, and that is going to be on my account if I do that. So we need to also look at the knowledge of the philosophy of karma and apply that wisdom in our activities so that while we could enrich ourselves to the exclusion of everyone else, ultimately we would be impoverishing ourselves. And so to be able to share, to be with others, to give space to others, to find your place and yet not take away from others is a very beautiful way to help everyone to get through these very difficult times that we are passing through, and ultimately to make the world the best place and the place where we can live together in harmony and happiness. Many of us are quite individualistic, and we are also quite capable of getting a lot done by ourselves, but yet what we really gain greatest happiness from is by working together to accomplish something greater than any individual can do. Whether it is a task, whether it is creating a family, whether it is a community or a civilization, it is made up of the different parts, all of which are very different and complementary. When we are in our false ego, then it is very difficult to work together with others because we find fault, because we think our way is the best way and we don't listen to other people. And so in order to achieve the power of cooperation, we also need to be beyond false ego in our stage of self-honor, self-regard, and aware of our own personal individual power. Then we do not feel threatened or limited by the capacities and skills and talents of others. There's no jealousy, there's no competitiveness, but we are able to work in a complementary way. The power to cooperate also is developed through meditation, and meditation for this involves creating like an atmosphere or waves in the atmosphere such that you and those with whom you are working together are on the same wavelength. You do this through meditation, and the other people may not need to be around at that time, but with your meditation you create an atmosphere which welcomes people into the space where you are, and you create this vibration where they can easily tune in and sync up with you, in which case you are able to cooperate with them, understand them well, your intuition is synchronized with theirs, and you're able to understand them, they are able to understand you. And then you can inspire others to cooperate in the task that you may be carrying, or when needed, you can give your cooperation to others for a higher purpose. The power of cooperation is important to help us to reach beyond selfish desires or limitations. We do not work only for our particular group or our particular idea, but the power to cooperate is something that takes us beyond these limits to something greater, something higher, because ultimately we're all in the same boat. These days we're all very aware of the pandemic, the COVID-19 that is going on and that may well be with us for quite some time. And what happens when we don't cooperate is the pandemic spreads and a lot of people become infected, and then there is a lot of sorrow and suffering. So the power of cooperation is very important when all of us are facing something that requires each one to do their part, to follow the established rules, to make sure that you are careful about yourself and also careful about others, to maintain the distances, the masks, all of these little things that go together to helping us to eradicate this big challenge that is facing everyone in the world. At the same time, we must also be very clear and conscious that I am not afraid. As long as I do what I need to do, as long as I follow the recommendations, there is every reason for me to remain safe and healthy. But if anything should happen, then I must also cooperate with the authorities, the medical establishment, to make sure that I get well quickly and I do not create any problems or difficulties. And it's not just the pandemic that is facing all of us. All of us together are facing climate change issues. And whenever we face something like this, which brings extreme weather situations, which brings circumstances where there can be problems with food, transportation, flooding, fires, all of these natural calamities that are connected with the climate change issues require us to take care of each other, collaborate and cooperate with each other, and put in our little finger to make sure that people are protected and that we look out for each other. Because we do care about each other. What is life if there isn't love and care for each other? What is the need to take someone down, to prove that someone is weak or not okay? This is not the milk of human kindness, and human civilization is characterized by this love and care and collaboration of all of us to make the world the very best place and keep the world the very best place. In simple ways like keeping the place clean and neat and tidy, creating a good atmosphere, so many different ways we make life good for ourselves and good for each other. One thing that is very important is that when we wish to accomplish something great, we cannot do it on our own, although we might be the person who everyone points to, that this one made this film or made this book or built this building, but no one does everything all by themselves. And the power of cooperation also means that we must acknowledge the participation of those who made it possible for us to achieve our goals, to complete and to accomplish. So it's very, very important to recognize the contribution of others, and also to realize that whatever accomplishments and achievements we individually are able to achieve, it is on the shoulders of those who have gone before us, whether it's a spiritual practice, whether it's in our career, whether it is in anything that we are creating, whether it is sport, whether it is any technical work. we can only improve on something that has been there before us, and the big picture means that there are many people who have contributed to make this a real reality. Let us look for a moment at how we can use meditation to create an atmosphere of collaboration, to have relationships that are complementary, for us to achieve work together and to focus on a common goal. One thing to understand with meditation is it is about creating an atmosphere or vibration of harmonizing. Every individual has their own vibration, their own skill set, their own set of ideas, their own orientation, and we are a garden of many different varieties of flowers. But the harmony and unity of the whole is when we have that atmosphere of cooperation and harmony. And this is created by thought, a thought which is inclusive, a thought which gives due recognition and importance to everyone, a thought which sees all those who are involved, and you, as much as you give, that much you do actually receive. And so we do not need to be miserly in this. It is a generosity of spirit that is extended in the meditation that allows for extraordinary coordination, cooperation, and collaboration to take place smoothly and effectively. So let us sit together for this kind of meditation that creates harmony among those that we are working together with. Let yourself turn your attention deep within and feel the essential qualities of the self, the soul. I am at peace. I go into my stillness, a single pointed focus of attention on the point of light that is the self. And from there I radiate beautiful, quiet, harmonious vibrations. In that stillness arises gentle love. Love is a beautiful feeling of appreciation and regard for those who are with me, and all of us together move forward in our task. Why are we doing this together? Not because of any individual one, but because it is a higher, overarching achievement that all of us must lend our thought, our little finger of cooperation, and our loving heart. spread this feeling into the atmosphere and connect with the Supreme Being. Become a conduit that allows that quiet, beautiful love to fill the atmosphere and extend throughout the world. Let those feelings reach the hearts and minds of those who are with you in your task. See each one in their purest form, loving them, appreciating them, giving space for them to be there. And the work is accomplished together while the beautiful vibration of the Supreme fills it with special divinity, spiritual power, and clarity. As we go forward together. And gently let yourself return back to your regular state of consciousness, but keep that feeling of inclusivity, harmony, and love. Keep filling the atmosphere with this intention. Om Shanti.